Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode right here on Shifty Drifty. I'm Mark Wallace. I am hanging out here on BLM land right outside of Arches National Park. And so you can see my face, I'm going to take my hat off just for a second. I do have sunscreen on, so please be kind in the comments below. Well, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is I'm here in this epic place here outside of Moab, Utah. I'm absolutely loving it. I got some great spots to explore from my good friend Keith Kessler at Adventure Off Grid. He gave me some points of interest to check out. And so that's what this episode was supposed to be. The bad news is this morning when I was coming up the hill and that noise that I heard in the last episode, it's back. The places that I was planning to go are maybe an hour and a half into nowhere. And so I just don't feel comfortable doing that right now with the potential of a wheel bearing going out or something catastrophic where then I would have to figure out how to get towed back, get a trailer. I don't know. It'd be really, really bad if something like that happened. The probability is it's still just that emergency brake that I was talking about before, but it's just not going away. And so I've got to fix that. And so I don't know what this episode is going to bring. Today, what I need to do is I was planning to camp here, but I think I need to get back into Moab, see if I can figure out what's going on with the back end of the truck, try to fix that, and then return. If I can't, I don't know. I got to figure something else out. So good news and bad news. And so you know, because you're in the future, what happens. I don't. Let's see. Let's start right now. I'm in a back lot of O'Reilly Auto. They said I could use that. So I'm going to jack up the car, get this wheel off of here, and see if we can figure this out. Well, these brake pads look just fine. Got plenty left on them. And I don't know, there's nothing in there obviously happening. There's no oil, there's no play, there's nothing that I can see. So that means it could be something worse than just a brake or emergency brake issue. So I'm gonna put it all back together. There's really nothing I can do from this point. I've looked at everything I can here. I'm just not seeing any issues. I'm going to take the car for a test ride, but I drove around the O'Reilly store a few times so I could hear if there was an echo off the building, and there was no squeak at all. And when I showed up before I took everything apart, there was a really loud squeak. So there was a store next door called CarQuest. I had to get a little socket from them. They said sometimes dust can get into the brake pads and cause a squeak issue, and so what they suggested is for me to go and blast the car at a car wash, blast out those the rotors and the brake pads and everything to just make sure there's nothing stuck in there. I washed that out real good, and a lot of dirt did come out of there. So a lot of junk and stuff came out of the middle of that. I don't think that's going to do anything, but you know, for a couple bucks, why not give it a shot? I think the truth is I'm not going to figure out what's wrong with the rear tire, the rear wheel, unless I get to a larger town so I can take it down to the hub and see if those wheel bearings or maybe a CV joint, something like that is going wrong. I don't want to risk getting out into the middle of the desert and then not having a way back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head south towards the Navajo Nation and eventually to Phoenix. Now I know we didn't get to do some epic camping here, but I have an idea. Fortunately for me, I have a very good friend, Keith Kessler from Adventure Off Grid, and he has some points of interest all over the American West, and he sent me this one. And what a spectacular view this is, right on the edge of a canyon, and I can't wait to show you what sunset looks like tonight. Well, you might be wondering why I have my rain tarp out when it is bright sun. It's very, very hot. Well, the reason for that is exactly that reason. It's really hot. I need to stay out of the sun, and so by putting that rain tarp down, it gives me complete 100% shade inside the tent. It's very hot outside, and so I'm gonna hop here in the tent where it's nice and shady. I have my Kindle all loaded up with books. I've got some ice cold water here and even an Arnold Palmer that I just got out of the fridge. And so I'm gonna relax for a couple hours until it cools off and the sun gets a little bit lower on the horizon, and then I'll get out and about and explore the area. What a beautiful sunset. I just enjoyed it up here on the top of my tent, and now look at this. The sun is hitting these rocks and they are on fire. They're just blazing back there. This is definitely an epic camp. Thanks so much, Keith, for showing me where this place is. Now there's not a single star in the sky, so I'm gonna keep my screens open and just enjoy the stars tonight. It just doesn't get much better than this. It just doesn't get much better than this.